Hi there, my name is Louise Parker, and I'm going to be taking you through a back health yoga class today. So, as is always the case, if you have any questions or concerns about your health, about your back health, consult your doctor before taking this class. Okay, so for this class, it's not necessary, but it's a good idea to have a couple of blocks, a couple of yoga blocks. I personally love using props for yoga because it helps it to be more enjoyable, to be easier, and to just be able to access the poses in an easier way, and in a safe way. So 2 blocks if you have them, and a strap and a yoga mat. So we're going to start by just kneeling, hips right over the heels in Vajrasana, palms facing down to the thighs to ground. Close the eyes and just move the belly button towards the spine. So we're going to start by just settling into the breath, not changing the breath in any way, just watching the inhale, watching the exhale. We often go through life in such a hurried fashion that we don't take time to notice what's happening with the breath, and observe the body. Observe if there are any areas that you're gripping or tensing, and observe any areas that are open and relaxed. And flutter the eyes open. We're going to start with one of my favorite breath techniques. It's called Sitali Pranayama. So if you are able to curl your tongue, you can do that. Otherwise, you can just purse the lips and we'll breathe through either the curled tongue or the pursed lips. So we're going to breathe in over the tongue and then hold the breath for 2 seconds and then exhale through the nose. And we'll do 5 rounds of that. Okay, so I'll talk you through the first 2 and then you can continue the last 3 on your own breath cycle. So inhale through the tongue, hold, 1, 2, exhale through the nose. Full exhale. Inhale through the tongue, hold, 1, 2, exhale through the nose. Then we'll continue that 3 more times. Last time. And then return to regular breathing. And that is just such a great breath technique for focusing the mind, for cooling the mind and the body if it's really hot out, and also for helping with symptoms of stress and anxiety. So a great breath technique all around. Okay, so we're going to come to stand. And like I said, this is about back health. Okay, so I wanted to start with showing you what the back looks like. So you can see that I'm standing in Tadasana mountain pose. I have natural curves of the spine. So the lower part of the back curves in, the middle back curves out, and then the neck, the cervical spine curves in. So we want to maintain those natural curves of the spine throughout yoga and throughout life. Okay, so we don't want to straighten the spine. You might hear some people saying straighten the spine. What they actually mean is lengthening it. So the natural curves of the spine help with shock absorption in the spine. Okay, so in class today, we'll be starting with the foundation first. So working from the ground up. So as you stand in Tadasana mountain pose, check in with the toes. All 10 toes want to be pointing forward. Okay, if they're turned out to the side slightly, just turn them in. That probably means that you have tight hips. Feet are right underneath the hips, so just check that they are going straight down from the hips. And then the weight is balanced through all 4 corners of the feet. So you're not forward on the toes, you're not leaning back on the heels. Okay, and then we're going to take one of the blocks, if you don't have a block, a cushion or a book or something, and take it between the thighs. Hands are on the hips, and then move the block forward like a Pez container. It's moving forward. So you can see that my pelvis is tucked, my spine is rounded, and I'm putting a lot of pressure in the quads and nothing in the glutes. Okay, so most of us sit like this. You know, we kind of are like this all day. And then that transfers to everyday life. So a lot of people these days walk around, go through life with a tucked pelvis, which means that the quads are very tight, glutes are very weak, core is weak, and we are rounding the spine. Okay, and then if you move the block back, you can see that my back is arched slightly, and it looks like I'm just sticking my bum behind me. Okay, so that is not good either for the spine. It puts too much pressure on the lower back here. This is what often happens when women are pregnant. So then if you can just go forward again and just remember the feelings of tucking the pelvis and sticking it too far back. And then come to that sweet spot in the middle. This is the neutral pelvis, and this is what we want to aim for in our posture. Okay, and then pull the belly button to the spine. So we want to engage the core because for back health, a strong core is really important. Okay, so today we'll be working on back muscles and also core. And then just let the hands hang by your side. We're going to roll the shoulders and then firm the shoulder blades into the back. So the shoulder blades are moving down towards the top ribs and then moving away from each other. And then we want our ear to be right over the shoulder. So most people will need to move their head back, but keep the chin in line. And then, so the ear is over the shoulder, shoulder is over the hips, hips are over the heel. Okay, so that's what we're looking for today. Okay, you can take your block away. And again, come back into Tadasana. Check in with all of your points. And then inhale the arms up, Urdhva Hastasana. So you're reaching up, but still maintaining the neutral pelvis, shoulder blades firming into the back, and belly button to spine. Exhale, Tadasana. And inhale, chair pose, Utkatasana. So sit back in the hips, belly button to spine, reach with the fingertips, firm the shoulder blades into the back. Nice, keep reaching, belly button to spine, and exhale, Tadasana. Now, the next pose I'm going to show you is a great pose to warm up the spine, but I want you to keep the core engaged in order to protect the spine. And you can just do this at your own pace, whatever feels comfortable for you. Okay, so bend the knees, keep the core engaged. We're just going to twist. Really simple. Just start really small, warming up the spine, warming up the core muscles and the back muscles. And then you can start to straighten the knees and bend them, still with the core engaged. And as the spine gets warmer and more flexible, you can start to look over the back shoulder. So inhale, center, exhale, twist. Inhale, center, exhale, twist. I'm going to do a few more of these each side. And then slowly come back to center. Nice. Okay, come down to the mat on all fours. Okay, so take the knees all the way to the edges of the mat and the feet are together. And then you're going to take one of your blocks and place it towards the top of the mat. The forehead is going to be on that block. Okay, so we're aiming to keep the hips down to the heels. Core is engaged. Heavy the tailbone. So we're moving the tailbone down, lifting through the crown of the head. So we have a nice long spine. We still have those curves of the spine, but it's lengthened. And then on the exhale, walk the hands forward. Take the forehead to the block. And then take the hands to alongside the torso with the palms facing up. And we'll just breathe here for a moment. Feel the tension releasing in the lower back. Lengthen the tailbone away from you. Firm the shoulder blades into the back. Then you can reach the hands in front. Breathe easy. Belly button is still reaching towards the spine. And inhale, press down with the hands. Come up to all fours. Move the knees in towards each other. So the knees are now directly under the hips. Hands are directly under the shoulders. Belly button to spine. Imagine the tailbone reaching away from you and the crown of the head reaching to the top of the mat. And on the inhale, we're going to arch the spine for cow. Keep that core engaged. Exhale, chin to chest for cat. Inhale, arch the spine, cow. Exhale, chin to chest, cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. We'll do this 2 more times. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. One last time. Inhale, cow. And exhale, cat. And then come back to center. Again, check in with the belly button. Reach the crown of the head forward and the tailbone back. And then using the strength of the core, on the exhale, we're going to reach the right arm, left leg. So the right arm is in line with the shoulder and the left leg is in line with the hip. Pull that belly button in towards the spine. Reach back with the heel. Firm the shoulder blades into the back. Reach, reach, reach. And exhale down. Again, bring the belly button to the spine. And on the exhale, reach forward with the left hand and reach back with the right leg. And just check in with a video or a mirror to make sure that your right hip is in line with the left hip. Pull that belly button in towards the spine. And exhale, release. Okay, I'm going to step back into plank pose. So you can either go on your knees, and you want the hips to be in line with the shoulders. Pull the belly button in towards the spine. Reach the tailbone away from you and reach up through the crown of the head. Look towards just past the mat so that your neck is in line with everything else. Or you can go onto the toes. And if you're on the toes, keep the hips in line with the heels and the shoulders. Breathe. Pull that belly button in towards the spine. And then exhale, right knee to the right hand for pigeon on the right. And you're going to take a block underneath that right hip. So we're not collapsing over onto the block. Both hips are pointing down. Belly button is pulling back to the spine. Reach that left leg behind you to create lots of space in the lower back area. Firm the shoulder blades into the back. Heavy the tailbone. Lift through the crown of the head. And we're up on the fingertips. So an important part of back health is having stretching the hip flexors. So the hip flexor goes from the top of the knee all the way over the quad, over the hip, and around the lower back. So we want to make sure that that hip flexor is not pulling, that it's not really, really tight, which is what happens when we sit a lot at that 90-degree angle, or if we do repetitive movements like running or biking or thousands of squats. Okay, keep that belly button engaged. And take the hands back down, move the block, and step back into plank pose. Okay, keep pulling that belly button in, reach back with the heels, forward with the crown of the head, and then exhale the left knee to the left hand. Reach the right leg behind you, and then take the block under the left hip. Again, check in with the hips to make sure they're both pointing down. Heavy the tailbone, lift through the crown of the head. Firm the shoulder blades into the back, belly button to spine. And breathe easy. So there's no gripping here, and there's no holding the breath when things get hard. In fact, when things get hard, I want you to try to focus on the exhale. So really extending that exhale. Okay, and remove the block. Take the hands back down, step back to plank pose, either on the toes or the knees. Then exhale, come down to the mat on your belly. Okay, reach the right leg behind you, and then pick up the left leg and move that behind you. So we're creating that nice space in the lower back. And then reach the fingertips forward, forehead comes to the mat. And we're going to move into locust pose or Superman pose. And I want you to just try to relax the glutes, relax the bum, because that is, as we lift, that is what is going to want to do most of the work because it's the biggest muscle. But I want you to try to focus on the core and the lower back muscles and the upper back muscles. Okay, so take a nice inhale, and then on the exhale, lift the legs, lift the arms, lift the chest. Relax the glutes. Reach the heels behind you, reach the fingers in front. Engage the core, engage the back muscles. Firm the shoulder blades into the back. Reach, reach, reach. Keep exhaling. 2 more rounds of breath. Reach a little bit further and release. Bring the hands to outside the chest. Come onto the knees and step back to downward facing dog. And in downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana, lift up through the hips, ground the heels, firm the shoulder blades into the back, and pull the belly button towards the spine. Relax the head, shake the head, or nod the head yes and shake the head no. Then inhale, step the right foot forward, come down to the left knee, and you can roll the mat for the left knee if that feels good. I often need padding on that knee. Okay, and then walk the right foot forward so that that knee is beyond 90 degrees. Hands to the hips, belly button to spine. Reach through the crown of the head, firm the shoulder blades, and then exhale, hinge forward to 90 degrees. Tailbone is moving down towards the ground. And this is such a great stretch for the left hip flexor here. Breathe easy. Belly button to spine. And inhale, come back to center. Take the hands back down and step back to downward facing dog. Again, lift the hips, ground the heels, firm the shoulder blades. And exhale, step the left foot forward. Right knee comes to the mat for low crescent lunge. Take the belly button to the spine. Firm the shoulder blades. Walk the left foot forward beyond 90 degrees. And then exhale, move the left knee towards 90 degrees. Keep the torso over the pelvis. Breathe easy. Lift through the crown of the head, heavy the tailbone. So your spine is being pulled in two different directions. We're grounding it and we're lengthening it. And then take the hands to the mat, come to the knees, and then come to sit. So we're going to sit with our legs out front in Dandasana. Take the hands to either side of the hips, lift the hips, and then imprint the legs onto the mat. So we're pressing through the hamstrings, pressing through the calves. Reach the heels away from you and tilt forward onto the front of the sit bones. Ground the tailbone, lift through the crown of the head, and pull that belly button in towards the spine. Nice. And then bend the right knee and place the right foot on the left side of the thigh. You can take your hand on a block or on the ground behind the right hip. Then inhale the left arm into the air. Reach, reach, reach. It's really important to create length before we twist. So reach and then exhale. Take the elbow outside the right knee, or you can hug it, whichever feels good for you. Either way, heavy the tailbone, lift through the crown of the head, and turn to look over the back shoulder. Inhale, lengthen the spine, and exhale, twist. Then inhale, come back to center, reach the right leg forward. Again, reach through the heels. And then inhale, take the left foot outside the right thigh. Take that block behind the left hip again. Belly button to spine, firm the shoulder blades into the back. Left hand is by the left hip or on the block. Inhale the right arm up, reach, 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 and then exhale to the elbow to outside the knee. Turn to look over the back shoulder. Nice, easy breaths. And if you find that you can't breathe easy, just come out of the twist a little bit. And inhale, come back to center. Release yourself, and then come to lay on the back. So we're going to be on the back, knees bent. Take the right ankle to the left knee. Flex both of the feet, and then pick up the left foot. Bring the left thigh towards the left torso. Take the hands behind the hamstring. And just pull that leg towards the torso. Breathe easy. You might notice that one side is more challenging than the other. And release that down. Take the right foot down, take the left ankle to the right knee. Flex the left foot and lift the right leg. Take the hands behind the right hamstring. Belly button to spine. Firm the shoulder blades. Tailbone moves away from you. And breathe easy. And we're really targeting the hips and the glutes here. And also getting a nice lower back stretch. And inhale, release. And then lift the legs to 90 degrees. So the knees are bent. Take the hands through the legs to the outsides of the feet for happy baby. So we're going to reach up through the heels, ground the knees towards the armpits. And then you can just rock side to side, Get that nice massage of the lower back. And this is very beneficial for the hips and also the lower back. It just feels good. And release the feet. And take that block that's hopefully close by and lift the hips. Place the block at its lowest height underneath the sacrum. Feet are on the ground. Take the hands to the belly. Engage the core so the belly button is moving towards the spine. And on the exhale, lift the right knee to 90 degrees and the left knee. And we're using the core here to keep the legs lifted. And exhale, straighten the right leg, straighten the left leg. And if this is too challenging, then you can stay with the knees bent. But keep the belly button moving to the spine, reach up through the heels. I'm going to stay here for 10 rounds of breath. Nice, easy breaths. And if your legs start to shake, just focus on the exhale. And with the core engaged, bend the knees to 90 degrees. And then really engage the core. Exhale, take the right foot down and the left foot down. And lift the hips, remove the block. And take the right ankle to the left knee again. Arms out to the side in a T position. And then exhale, take the legs over towards the left. So the right foot is pressing into the ground or is moving towards the ground. And look over the right shoulder. And we're lengthening the spine, so move the tailbone away from the torso and reach through the crown of the head. And inhale, come back to center. And exhale the legs over to the right, looking out over the left shoulder. And inhale, come back to center. Release the right leg and take the left ankle to the right knee. Exhale over to the right. Look out over the left shoulder again. And you can press that left foot into the mat or move it towards the mat. Bring the belly button towards the spine to protect the lower back. And inhale, come back to center. And exhale over to the left, looking out over the right shoulder. And inhale, come back to center. Take the left foot down. Bring the knees together and move the feet all the way to the edges of the mat. Take the hands to the belly. And we're going to rest here for a moment in constructive rest. This is a great way to neutralize the spine at the end of a class. And one of the things about back health is in yoga, it's very important to neutralize the spine before going between forward bends and back bends. And also at the end of a class to neutralize the spine so that you can go about your everyday life without the risk of slipping a disc. Or with less risk, I guess. So feel the sacrum moving down towards the mat. Breathe easy. Check in with the breath. Again, just watch the inhale and the exhale. Check in with the body. In particular, the spine and the back muscles. Just notice if there are any areas of tension around the back, or if any of the areas of the back feel more open. And walk the feet back together. Roll over onto the right side. Just stay here for a moment. And press down with the left hand and come to sit in Vajrasana. Hands are on the thighs. Bring the hands together at heart center. Thank you for joining me today for some back health. Namaste. And if you have any questions, please feel free to message me. You can email me, you can go to my website. Those are both listed below. Have a great day.